Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hello, my name is Melissa. I'm here with another book video. I wanted to take the time and do an experiment because within my year of reading again, I got back into reading and I made a whole video about it. I'll put a link in the description below. I wanted to try out holiday romances because sometimes I can be surprised by things that I normally wouldn't pick up. And I'm curious enough to check this subgenre out. I am not a huge fan of Christmas. I'm not a Grinch by any means. It's just I prefer other times of the year. You know what's my vibe? Spooky season. I'm a spooky season girl. I like autumn. I like fall. I like the pumpkin flavored stuff except for pumpkin pie. Christmas is just not my favorite holiday. So the books, I just usually wouldn't really gravitate towards them, but I wanted to try them out. So I ended up binge reading 2 books and 2 novellas, and I started out with There's Something About Mary. This is a new release. It's a release that came out this year, I believe. I listened to it on audio, and it is about this woman who she is in the process of healing from breakups of the past, and she's taken the time to learn about herself and to love herself, and she's really wanting to go out there and date. She feels like she's ready. And our hero is a single father in this town. So her family owns this Christmas tree farm, and she works at the front desk of a school, I believe, and he works as a forager on the Christmas tree farm. They actually knew each other back in high school, and little did they both know that they both had crushes on each other back in the day, and they kind of like missed their chances because he thought she was dating this guy and she wasn't really like serious about him. So they are each other's pretty much each other got away. So it's not a second chance romance. Like I said, he is a single father and he was raised by emotionally unavailable parents. They were the kinds of parents who were more enamored with the idea of having children rather than actually doing the parenting and being there for you type of parenting. They were just not the parents of the year. And also his baby mama ran off once she realized that they were going to have a boy. That really freaked her out because of some things in her past. So she ran off and he decided that he wanted to keep the kid, and he raised his son on his own. So they both feel like they're ready to get out there and date, and they both end up texting anonymous people on a dating app. And of course, this is a romance novel. They're actually texting each other, but they don't know. And I really like when romance novels have the whole we're texting or emailing or IMing each other online, but we don't know, because I think we get to see how they get to know each other or get to know each other again IRL versus speaking to each other online. And usually they confess things online that they wouldn't really say to each other in person. So I like seeing that dichotomy usually. So that's something that worked in this book for me. There is some conflict that happens when they finally do decide to meet, but thankfully it is quickly resolved. There's nothing that I hate more is when there's just unnecessary conflict because someone is surprised at something and they felt like they were lied to, so then they decide to not speak to the person. There's the whole, that miscommunication, misunderstanding, and we do get some of that here, but as I said, it gets resolved pretty quickly. I don't want to spoil it too much for you guys if you want to go ahead and check it out. But I ended up rating this book 3 stars. Now, I know everybody rates differently. My 3 stars will not look like what 3 stars looks like to you. So for me, my 3 stars pretty much says this. I feel like this book was fine. Or it was okay. It was solid. It's something that I read and I probably won't ever pick it up or think about it again. And that sounds harsh, but it's not. I'm reading a lot more now, so it's just is what it is. A 3 star for me means it was fine. It was solid. If that's something that you like, it is a small town romance. It is the single dad trope. She's newly single. She's learning how to heal and she wants to find love again. and he is hesitant because he has to bring that around his son. He's very protective. If that's something that sounds like something that's up your alley, then I would 100% go ahead and recommend it. Read it and let me know in the comments below how you liked it. The next book I picked up is actually a novella by Chloe Liese called The Mistletoe Motive. I believe this came out last year, and I kept hearing really good things about this out there on Bookstagram and also BookTube, so I decided to check it out. I picked it up because I did like one of Chloe Liese's books that I read this year called Always Only You. And I really enjoyed that romance, so I went in hopeful. And so we have our heroine who works at a bookshop, and the hero also works at the bookshop. She feels kind of like threatened though, because he got hired after her and he was brought in to kind of like fix certain issues, and she feels kind of threatened by him because of those new ideas that he has, and she feels very attached to this bookshop. This definitely had the You've Got Mail scenario feeling vibe to this because again, we have a situation where they are writing to each other not knowing that they are actually writing to each other via the internet. So again, that's always something that's like fun for me to read because obviously as the readers you know who they're talking to, but the anticipation and the fun comes because you're waiting for them to find out and meet up, and like, is someone gonna be mad, or are they gonna be pleased, or are they gonna be awkward, what's gonna happen? That's always like the fun of that trope for me. So because the store is in the red zone, some cuts are gonna have to be made, such as a job, and the owners of the bookstore let them know that, you know, some difficult decisions have to be made within the new year, and so this really ramps up their competition with each other. So they both kind of devise this plan. Well, you're gonna do this and I'm gonna do this, and whoever performs better, whoever makes the most sales, and really helps out the store, we agree that the person will back out and lose this job. Chloe Liese is known for writing neurodivergent characters because she is herself, and this book also follows this. Our heroine is autistic and she is also demisexual. This is something that is very interesting for me to discover because I feel like a lot of times in romance novels, if it's not insta love, it's usually insta attraction, insta lust, insta we're gonna jump right into the bed, which some romances are able to pull that off. It's not something that I prefer to read. I do like some sort of a build up to create that tension. But in this one, since our heroine is demisexual, she explained how it just takes time for her to even feel attraction. She has to feel a certain type of connection with somebody to even feel like that physical and sexual attraction, which I really, really loved that rep because it's something that I never get when I'm reading a book. So I thought that was really well done, and it got me excited to read about a different type of character. Now, funny enough, it is a novella, but I still felt like it kind of dragged for me a bit throughout the middle, and I got to the point where I felt like I was kind of like wandering, and I just was trying to finish. I was hoping to finish. I'm like waiting for it to finish because I wanted to get to the point where they're gonna meet up already and have, you know, their conflict there and the resolution. So it did kind of like slow down for me in that sense, but towards the end it did pick back up. So because of that slowdown, I would say I would give this a 3 stars. Again, 3 stars, but remember, that's not a bad rating. A bad rating to me is like a 1 star, a 2 star. A 2 star means to me that a book or a novella truly disappointed me, or I thought it was bad. And I didn't think this was bad. I thought it was fine. It was solid. I liked the characters. They both have their own kind of struggles that they're dealing with. And like I said, I like the representation. I wish I could read more books with demisexuals. If you guys have books that you can recommend me with demisexuals, please let me know down below, because that's something that I feel like is not explored enough, and I would love to read more about that. So yeah, a solid 3 stars. The next book I tried is actually another novella, and this one is called Wrapped Up in You by Talia Hibbert. I read Talia Hibbert for the first time this year with her Brown Sister series. I know it's a very popular series amongst romance readers, and the second book in that series is my favorite. That's the one with Danny Brown. Super excited to pick this one up because it follows our heroine who is newly divorced. She's kind of prickly and she's not really out there looking to date. She's not looking for a new romance. You know, she's has the whole like afraid of love thing going on for her. And our hero is this childhood friend. It is a brother's best friend trope. He is an actor, and he has been crushing on the heroine forever, but because she was married, there's nothing that he could really do about it. He's a good guy. He was taking his time, waiting it out. I like that. And he has this plan. It's gonna take him a whole year to like woo her and to make her his, to make her realize like they could be good together. And I love heroes who woo, who pursue, who see what they want and they go for it. And I think because this is a novella, we don't really get to see much of that. And I think that's where this book fell short for me. So he eventually tells her that he's had a crush on her. And I love how he communicates. It takes him a bit, because it's very nerve-wracking. He has to work himself up to do it. But I loved how we have communication as adults in a book. Love that. And then she freaks out. She's not really taking him seriously, because as I said, it's so not where her headspace is at. And she's always kind of had like a crush on him as well. And we discover some things about their past between the two of them as well that I won't go too much into. So she pulls back from his confession about his crush. And I think this one just had a little bit too much angst for me, because it kept coming back up. Like her reasons, her excuses, her thoughts about him not really being serious. He's having some crisis. She's not taking him seriously. And that kept getting redundant and repetitive for me, which is something that I don't love in my romance novels. I don't like a lot of angst because I feel like that always traps the author to being very repetitive. It's just hitting the same beats. So this one didn't really hit it for me. I'm sad about it because as I said, I love pining heroes. I love like secret crushes. I love the wooing and pursuing. But because this is a novella, we don't really get to see all that much wooing and pursuing. And again, it just had too much angst for me. So this one I gave a 3 stars because I didn't hate it. So I still gave it a 3. I will end the video by talking about a full-length book, A Merry Little Meet Cute. And I saw this book has been out since September of this year, so it definitely got a little bit ahead of the holiday season. This book is quite unique. It is like Hallmark, but they bang for sure. So it starts off with our heroine, who is this plus size adult film star, and our hero is this former boy band who is recovering from a scandal, and he's in a real bad need to recover his image. And she is wanting to step out a little bit more into her acting and filming career. She loves what she does. She not only makes porn movies, but she also has a closed doors fan account, which is kind of like an OnlyFans account in this world. And they both get cast in this one of those cheesy, cute December winter holiday romance movies. They are both filming because this network is basically like a Hallmark network. Nobody can find out that she used to be or is an adult film star, and he can't risk people knowing that either, because he's really depending on making this film work, because he really needs the money and health insurance from it, because he's taking care of his family. His mother is diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and he's also taking care of his little sister. So the stakes are high in this book. He is super surprised to see his co-star is this adult film star, because he knows her. He is subscribed to her closed door account. He's a major fan. He has been fantasizing and crushing on her for years. Now, I will say, I question the fact that like she's super popular. She's making all this money on this app and in her porn movies. How are you not concerned that somebody out there would recognize you? Because she doesn't want to be discovered. She can't be discovered because it's like a Hallmark movie, like an adult film star can't be in this world. But I digress. So throughout this book, I really loved seeing how much he was so into her. It's definitely a book where he falls first. Another thing that I love about these romance novels. So we see him kind of like lusting after her, but they just cannot get caught in a compromising position. There's absolutely no banging because, again, he is trying to recover from a scandal, so he can't be caught doing any type of activity on set, and he is repeatedly reminded of that by his tough as nails manager Steph. Now, of course, things do not go as planned because, the attraction is just so hot and it's so strong. So, things end up happening in the wardrobe trailer. It happens and they're like, okay, it's fine. let's just get it out of our system. It happened. We only need to do this once. Have we read or seen a movie ever? Come on. After some time, though, he lets her know that he would like to continue seeing her after the movie wraps. I really liked how we got to see some communication again. It's not something that he was withholding, but it's really tough because she doesn't want to feel like she's being hidden in a relationship. Who would like that? Nobody. But because of the circumstances, she also understands it because he can't have it out there about who he's dating, this adult film star, because of the stakes. Because of what would happen to his family and the deals, like he would lose that. It would also really affect her and her reputation and the possibilities for her future film career. So I think the book did a good job of having the reader understand what's at stake here. I did like how the book wove in the topic of sex work and the different opinions about that, because you're not just hearing one side of it, you're hearing different sides of it in the book, because it brings up the topic of sex work and the shame and the slut shaming. And I enjoyed seeing the different opinions and the different things that happen and how the heroine navigates it. There is also some fat shaming in here as well. So be aware of that. This book did feel kind of long though, and I don't love it when I could feel the length of the book. The audio felt kind of long, and I had seen some other reviews saying a similar thing. It just, I think the setup is really fun. This is my first time reading about an adult film star, so I think the setup was definitely something fun and unique. And I kind of liked how it had some like punny names. They know they're filming this cheesy romance holiday movie, so the book has a lot of fun with that, and that made me laugh. And it's something that is like cute and like what you would want in a romance holiday book. I will say I would have liked to see more of an emotional connection between the hero and heroine, because even though I love the fact that he is so into her and he wants to be with her, and she has been crushing on him from his boy band days, and they are compatible in the bedroom, I would have enjoyed seeing more meaningful conversations to get that emotional connection. Because once somebody is at the point where they say they have these deeper feelings and then they say the I love yous at a certain point, I want to feel like that was earned, because I want to feel like we actually got to see that whole journey and that whole growth. And I just don't feel like we got to see that 100% in this book. It came close. Having said that, though, I did give this book 4 stars. You should be happy to know. 4 stars. Take them as 5 stars for me, because I rarely, if ever, give books 5 stars. It doesn't happen often. I feel like to give something 5 stars, I have to be like completely obsessed with it. Like I can't stop thinking about it. I keep going back to it. I keep recommending it. That's a 5-star read to me. But because this book had a really fun setup, and it was a unique setup, and I think it had some good humor, it had topics that it brought up that I feel like were worth exploring. For me, that is why it earned itself a 4 stars. So compliments to the duo authors. I also want to mention that in a book where toys and lube are often referenced, because she packs a bunch with her to take with her to her film set for some reason, they were never used. That was a very odd choice to me, I'm not gonna lie. But my overall feeling of holiday romances, it is pretty much how I feel about reading in general. I started my whole journey of reading again within the last year, and it's true, I'm not a huge fan of Christmas. I just more of like a spooky season type of gal. This tells me that there is hope out there, though. There could be some more holiday romances out there that I could possibly like. I may check out a few more before the end of the year. We'll see if I like those. I'll let you guys know in the comments. This was not a terrible holiday romance binge. It was an okay one. I'm very happy that I ended on a good note with Merry Little Meet Cute at 4 stars, because 4 stars don't come by very often for me. So I consider this a success. You guys, let me know your favorite holiday romances. I'm looking forward to continuing my reading again journey. Let's see how much I do next year. I probably will do like a lot less, to be honest, because what ends up happening, I end up reading like a lot of like bland books, and I just want 4 and 5 star reads for all of next year, hopefully. Cross your fingers. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like to see more content, please go ahead and hit subscribe, like this video, share it with your book friends, and I'll catch you guys next time.